Hi guys, Rhonda without an H here with you again. Today I am joining a group of artists and crafters who are producing videos in conjunction with Creative Arts Collaboration, a Facebook group that is doing a video hop, which is kind of a fun thing. I've never participated in one, so I'm kind of excited about that. Especially I want to thank Meri Abrams, who is a member of that group, who's doing all the hard work putting these videos together and organizing everything. So one of the rules to participate in this one, and it's not like, you know, hard and fast, it's not like school kind of rules, but she encouraged us to take a previous video from one of the other hops. This is hop number 3, and there's 1 and 2. Thanks for watching art, and I'll put that, the hashtag, I'll put that below too, so you can go to all of the different videos. But this particular one, we were to pick a previous video to get inspiration from to create I can't talk today, guys, to create our own video presentation. So that's what I've done, and I actually picked 2 artists that I was inspired by. Well, there were lots of good artists, but you have to, you know, narrow it down. So I picked Shelly Lynn of Crafting Mamas. She repurposes junk mail and makes it pretty. So I picked hers, and I also picked Nikki of carsondcatslife. She's from New Zealand, and she highlighted zines. Oh, those of you who follow me already, you know that I love zines. So my thought process is to make my own zine inspired by Nikki, and to make a beautiful envelope inspired by Shelly Lynn to put my zine in. Okay, so let's get started. This is what I came up with, and I want to do a quick little flip through. And after I do the flip through, I will explain the process and explain zines in more detail. It's basically just a little booklet, an 8-page booklet, okay? And I am a mixed media artist, for those of you that haven't followed me. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, oh, you must do that. We'll have fun, okay? Anyway, so I have used handkerchief, lace, bling, fabric, paper, layers of paper. This is actually from an old 1940s, maybe 30s, old journal that I had that I'm using. More lace, more handkerchief, embellishments, little tag. This is a library card, dictionary page, tag, cheesecloth, etc., etc. I'm not going to go through every page and explain that. It can get boring. I will just show you some of the pretties. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions if you put them below after you've watched the video. This was kind of fun. I made this little book, and this is actually a oh, I had the book upside down. I had the book upside down. Okay, there's a recipe, an old recipe. Slip it in the little pocket. Here's a little envelope. We can put goodies in. And this was made from that handkerchief again. There's a little flip up. And another flip up. And those of you that follow me, you know I love waterfalls. Love me some waterfall. This is from a vintage child's pillowcase. It was so sweet. So I had to include that. And then here is the back. All right, now, just to tell you a little bit about zines, it's taken from the word magazine. That's why it's pronounced zine, but it's spelled Zine, Z-I-N-E. But as you understand that it's from a magazine, then that makes a little bit more sense. So I only discovered zines a few months ago, and people have been using them for many, many years. And it's some of the history that I found was that they actually began as a kind of an underground type of a newspapery kind of thing to produce in a really inexpensive way how to promote books or points of view or ideas or trying to get people to interested in different things. And of course, when artists get a hold of a subject or something that they love, then, you know, we use our own medium to make it our own. Now, traditionally, let's see, a zine is created by a sheet of paper that measures, in the U.S., this would measure 8.5 by 11 inches. That's a standard copy sheet of paper. Internationally, I believe your measurements are just a little bit different. But anyway, your standard paper, you fold it in a variety of ways, and you create 8 pockets or pages, if you will. So by cutting the 2 middle pockets in the center from here to here, you can then fold this way and you create your little booklet, which is what I've done on the one that I showed you. Excuse me. So I have to show you how the process works. I have marked this one and an arrow showing the direction that you would put your artwork, whether it's drawing, painting, collage work, fabric, whatever it is that you do, so that you have it all pointing in the same direction. One of the issues that I have run into is if you aren't careful and, okay, let's do it this way. Let me just fold this for you actually really fast here to just show you what I do. And then I'll explain about the direction. I fold in half widthwise. And then I fold again. And I'm kind of hurrying this so that I don't get too boring here. But if you're just making one for the first time and you need to, please pause, re-watch, do it as many times as you need to so that you feel comfortable with what you're creating. So that's how I have created my individual pages, okay? And then I fold it over in half again, and on this line, I normally use a rotary cutter with mine because I'm a quilter. But today I am using scissors, for I know there are a lot of people out there that are not quilters. Okay, so that opens up that area. Now what I wanted to explain to you, and put this down, see how these, let me do it this way. These are pointing up. Now, if I took the whole page, and I decorated it just as is, then you see this looks upside down here, but when you put it together in the book, it's actually right side up. So if I did it all going one direction, then half of my zine would be upside down. So that's the tricky part that you have to kind of be careful of. And once you get doing them, it's super easy. It's just the first one can be a little bit tricky because we have a tendency, you know, to look at things right side up. You just have to remember, work on the half of it, only half at a time, and turn, and then work on the other half. Always looking forward, and you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. In fact, this is the hardest part, guys, of making a zine, which is basically nothing, right? So when I fold, notice that I've got, this is my front cover, and this is actually my back cover right next to it. So when I fold this, I keep that in mind, and I want my front cover showing, which means my back cover will also be showing, okay? And then I just want to fold the back underneath the front. And there you go. So you decorate it any way you wish. I want to show you, now I've already done a video on this, but I wanted to show you the difference, you guys. Look at that. So from Nikki's video, I was just kind of excited to do something a little bit bigger. And I actually have some paper that is 11 by 17 inches that I picked up in a college surplus store for really inexpensive. And so I took that sheet of paper, and if you fold that in half, you will come up with 2 pieces of 11 by 8.5 inch wide paper. So I took that whole piece of paper, and this is where, I guess I'll take this apart again and kind of explain to you in more detail. Oh, I forgot. I can't. I can't do that, guys, because I have already secured this and glued this shut. So I'll do it with this smaller one. See? This is so fun. So just imagine that this is the larger size, which created actually quarter size pieces, and you've all folded a piece of paper and gotten that. So that's a little bigger size, easier to work with, I suppose, but it's harder to come by the paper. I suppose you could glue 2 8.5 by 11 sheets together and come up with that if you wanted to give that a try. Now, here's the thing about zines that's really, really fun. You make a zine, and you can turn that in your copy machine and make wonderful color copies to trade with other artists. It's a fabulous thing to do. That way, you get to keep your original art for yourself, and what you do with the copy is you treat it just like you do your original zine. You go ahead, you fold it just like you do on the original artwork before you start doing the folds. You cut it between this line and this line, just in the center, and then you fold it up like the booklet, and you've got this wonderful little booklet that you can send out and put it in an envelope, a cute little pocket decorative envelope, and mail to your friends. It's just a super fun thing to do. This is kind of like ATCs, where you trade artist trading cards. only this one you're trading the little booklets. But you're keeping your original art, which is fun. So you can make some copies, and then down the road, if you don't stitch yours together, like I did this and glued it together and made it so that you can't take copies of this one. And the reason that I did this is I didn't do this for the purpose of trading with people my copies. Number one, I don't have a copy machine that fits that large a size. And number two, this was just an idea. I was just giving this a try to just see if I liked doing it this way. So, okay, enough about zines. Now I want to show you what I'm going to do with some junk mail. And I haven't actually decided yet what. Probably I won't do these long envelopes. Now I might, you know, anyway, I want to make a cover for my zine. I want to do a pretty pocket, and I will come back when I've decided what I'm going to do about that. All right, so hang in there with me, guys. Okay, so what I am doing here, just real briefly, I have taken off the flap that is glued over, you know, from the front to the back. And I have added, as you'll see in Shelley's video, she does it better. I'm not going to highlight that. I'm just showing you what I did was I took from a calendar that I liked, that I thought was pretty. I like this. I'm not even going to paint over that because I think that's pretty, and it kind of matches in my color scheme. And I did very close to the edge. I cut these open, and when I'm ready with finishing, then I will stitch. I will stitch it closed on my machine. You know, because that's what I do. I stitch. So, I'm going to decorate this and finish it, stitch it, so I can put my zine in it, and then I'll be back and show you the finished product. Here's what it's looking like now after I have slathered on some paint. I'm not done, obviously, but that's the first step, so I'll be back. So I think I am done. I really like what I have come up with. I have included the colors that I had with my zine, which this particular one were lavenders and yellows. And you can see that I have added a lot of stitching and some stamping and just, you know, even a little bit more of this handkerchief lace. I don't have a lot left, but I had a little bit. And some real stamps, some old stamps. Turn it over here so you can see. Now I did reinforce this, and you know I said I wasn't going to cover that up, and I hadn't intended on doing it, but it needed a little bit extra stability. But I did washi tape here, and you can kind of see through. You can still see the background, but it's just changed a little bit. And that's what happens. You know, when we do our art, you have in mind one thing, and it maybe turns out a little bit differently. But I am really loving this. And so, well, so we can just slip our zine, and we've got, I can mail that off as is. Ooh! These are pretty, guys. Anyway, Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will enjoy the other videos. Watch them, be inspired, create some wonderful things yourself. And if you liked this video, I would sure appreciate a thumbs up, and subscribe if you're not now a subscriber of mine. And we'll see you another time. Have a fabulous day. Bye now.